Alright boys, so today we're going to talk about why every young man needs a good watch. And this is a topic that gets discussed a lot between a few of my friends and obviously online as well. And the reason I say why every young man needs a good watch is it can get you so many different advantages by having it on your wrist. And if you're in the position of, you know, you're probably 20 years old or maybe a little bit older, 25, and you're thinking about what you can do to improve your presence, your presentability, your networking skills, how you can get yourself into the circles that the top elite are in, then having a good watch can really aid you in that position. So there's a term that everybody knows, which is you need to fake it until you make it. And I've been there, I've done that. I think anybody who's come from nothing has had to go through that situation. And you do have to sometimes, you know guys, you do have to fake it until you make it. So you don't have to have a fake watch, that's not what I'm saying, but sometimes having a decent watch that is kind of a little bit different, or a classic that's considered a good entry watch, can get you into good conversations with people. And then obviously as you go higher through the ranks, through your income, you can purchase better watches that are going to get you into better conversations. And that's really one of the main key points I want to start on. Having a good watch can get you into conversations with high net worth individuals because it presents an opportunity to start a conversation. If someone sees that you've got a decent Rolex or a, I don't want to say a Patek because that's just, yeah, that's not entry level, or probably not what you're going to be guys will be looking to buy for your first watch. But if you've got like a Tudor, for example, they're made by Rolex, then it can start a good entry point for a conversation, which then can lead to further connections with people, and it's just a really good way to start networking. And what you want to understand is that people who have got a lot of wealth, or even not a huge amount of wealth, but they've got a decent amount of wealth, they like to collect things. So if you think about it, rich people, they like to collect cars, watches, horses. The horse is a really good one, for example, with a lot of wealth. That can really be a good in places to start with a conversation. Homes, there's loads of different things that people collect when they've got a bit of money, because that's what they enjoy to spend their money on. So if you can start with a watch, for example, lead that into a conversation, then you can start to think about leading that conversation into more of a business sense. So you talk about, you go up to somebody, oh, hello there, you know, I really like your watch, it looks fantastic, it really goes well with what you're wearing, you know, when did you get it, you know, how did you source it, etc, etc. And that's a good way to start it, and then you lead into other things. And that's all about the art of networking, you know, not being too pushy at the start and getting an understanding of what their interests are. And when you're networking, you don't always want to talk about business, so that's why the watches come into it. You talk about people's interests. Sometimes women, you'll talk about people's experience of women, what their kind of like relationship setup is like. So it's all about getting that first foot in the door with people who you're trying to network with. Now, one thing you have to understand is when you do start a conversation about the watch or some kind of networking based conversation, not everybody's going to be a good contact, and it's just a numbers game. You know, I've been doing networking for over 10 years. Even from the age of like 18, 19, I was going to networking events, understanding what people are up to. And trust me, I've been through so many different situations where they've just never really been useful or proven to be a good contact for me. Well, that's fine. What it did lead to, though, is good experience in talking to people and being able to converse in different situations with different people and different backgrounds. And that is where you really need to practice, because you might meet somebody who's a fantastic contact for you. You might strike up a conversation about their watch and you get into their talk about their business later on down the line. But if you've got no experience in actually networking with people, with bad situations where you know how to get yourself out of a conversation, or you know where the conversation is leading, it's not going to work out for you to be a good contact, then it's never going to go well for you when you meet somebody that is actually a good contact. You know, it does require practice. It's like anything with dating. It's like you go on the more dates, you get more used to it, you get more success about it because you become practiced in that area. And it's the same thing with networking. So the watch, going back to the watches, is sometimes just about getting yourself into the room and then putting your charisma and good intentions to work, providing value, And then if there's anything you can offer to somebody, then that's kind of like where you build that contact, and you say, oh, have you got Instagram, or have you got a contact, an email that we can connect on in the future? So that's why every young man needs a good watch. It is basically to give you a good introduction into a conversation with somebody that you might be wanting to build a network with. Furthermore, as well, it also goes really well with your style. So, you know, if you're trying to build up your style, which you should be, because every man needs good style, needs to dress well, a watch really complements loads of different outfits and situations that you're going to be presented in. Now, also, there's different watches for different situations. So I wouldn't wear my watch to, for example, well, I say that, but I never take my watch off, to be honest with you guys. You wouldn't wear a certain watch for a certain occasion. You don't want something too blingy. One thing I really don't recommend is getting like some huge watch. I see some of these guys with like really thin wrists, and they've got this massive fuck off watch on their wrists, and it just looks stupid. So go for something that suits the occasion. Have 2 to 3 different watches if you can afford it. They don't have to be super expensive, but they need to be sleek, and they need to not look cheap as well. You can start to look at different watches, and might put a couple of links in the description for good starter watches, for example. Now, Tudor is a great one because they're made by Rolex, and people who recognize Rolex or are in the watch game, they kind of know that Tudor is like an entry point and something that's a little bit less standoutish, and they've got the same mechanisms as well. So they're a great watch to kind of start with if you've got the funds for it, and they're not super expensive, but they do make a little bit of an impact where you can actually get a conversation started. And even if you're just starting out, you've still got a lot to offer. So when I'm coming back to networking now, if you do meet somebody that is an entrepreneur and you do want to kind of learn from them or network from them, then try to offer them anything you can. You know, the thing with entrepreneurs is they've most likely, 99% of them, have been in the position that you're in right now. So when a younger guy comes over to them and they start to ask them, you know, can I give you any support? Is there anything? I know I maybe not have a lot to offer, but they'll recognize the fact that you've got the drive and the ambition to even go up to them and start talking to them. So most entrepreneurs have been there, so they understand that position, and they're willing to help out younger people if they've got the right intentions. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, it's something that I've done very, very well in the past few years. They've seen that I've got the ambition, the drive, the kind of essence of who I am, professional, and they've given me a lot of help. That's really, really important. Now, if you go up to an entrepreneur and you just start bragging about stuff that you've got, even though you've not really got a lot, for example, or you start to really just press for questions straight away and try to get value out of them straight away, that's never going to go well for you. So that's an important thing. And one thing to think about as well is, even if you get rejected in this situation, for example, if someone says to you, look, you know, I'm busy right now, I can't talk to you, for example, maybe they don't see any value in speaking to you, because there is some people out there that just really want to protect their time, which I understand. Don't get disheartened by it, because any situation that you go into like that, it's an experience. You're learning from it, and the rejection can help to build you up as well, build your resilience up. Don't get disheartened by the rejection, because you only need one good, amazing contact that you've met through different opportunities to really change a situation in your life, or change the path in your life. And that's definitely something that's happened in my life for sure. Like, you meet one person, they'll introduce you to another person, you might connect better with that person, and that leads to another thing, and they invite you to a dinner, and then one day you'll be invited to go do an activity with them, for example, or you might be invited to see their business. These are all situations that I've been through, and just having that experience can really build up your confidence to be able to go into your own business, or whatever business or career you're in, to then accelerate that path. And these experiences are what really builds you up as a person. So coming back to the main point of this video is why every young man needs a watch. Well, the reason is it's a starting point. It's a conversation starter that's going to get you into the room with somebody that could possibly lead you to a very good business opportunity or new career path, or just basically learning from them. That's the main thing. You need to be learning every single day if you want to be successful in business. Don't be afraid to put yourself in a situation where you feel uncomfortable because you might be speaking to someone that's out your depth. Go in there with a lot of charisma and confidence about yourself, but don't be too cocky. Sit there and listen to somebody speak, and yeah, that's the point. You have collectibles, watches, horses, cars, homes, women. These are all different places that you can start conversations with important people that can accelerate your career. So listen, that was just a quick video I made. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's valuable. If you have any more questions about networking, style, how to accelerate your life as a young man, just drop me a message on Instagram. You can follow me in the link below. I also offer one-to-one mentoring for guys that really want to go to that next level. If you've been feeling a bit stuck recently, you need a bit of a push to get you to that point, you need some advice on a certain problem that you're dealing with business or with women, anything like that, drop me a message. I'll be happy to work with you, and I'll see you on the next video. And if you do have any suggestions that you'd like me to make a video about, please just drop me a comment in the YouTube comments below, and I'll be happy to make a video. See you on the next video, guys.